start digging around in there. So you can develop that talent of yours. So you can start to use that brain of yours to express that beautiful heart of yours.
From the first shot, The Art of Getting By is a relaxed art film to its core. The film starts with a monologue from its protagonist George about how life's greatest struggles are all an illusion. The rest of the text focuses on the existential nihilism that plagues George. He's a talented artist, but he can't summon the stamina or focus to do anything useful. This is something most smart, nerdy teenagers go through, the realization that nothing matters is true, but not especially useful if you want to get your homework done. Predictably, George meets a girl.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm Sally.
I know.
The film uses the romance genre to play with the duality of nihilism and romantic attachment. On the one hand, George is on track to fail high school. His teachers act as a bridge between the real world and George's. In George's world, he struggles with his attraction to Sally. The film generates an analogue for a George who stays down the road of painting and not caring and not doing his homework in Dustin. Dustin promises George he'll not pursue Sally, but does it anyway, and then threatens to pull Sally from George's world altogether. This is an obvious metaphor for the kind of person George could become if he doesn't overcome his nihilism. Dustin is selfish, confident, and lacks direction. He's essentially a representation of future George. And now we have two extremes established: George's stepfather and the principal and the school, structure, imposed meaning, versus Dustin, the nihilistic asshole. The film uses these poles to examine the complications of romance when an ineffectual loner archetype is the protagonist of the story. In a typical romance, the girl is attracted to the loner because he doesn't care. His attention is treated as currency to buy her affection. The Art of Getting By follows the heels of similar Sundance film pieces like 500 Days of Summer. Writer Wyson chooses instead to have Sally's attraction to George be relatively normal. There's no complex power dynamic, he's not attractive because he's a loner, she just thinks his lack of friends is a bit weird. More importantly, Sally makes her own decisions and is never guilted into attraction to George. It's not pity or redemption from being a loner that triggers her affections. Wyson even goes as far as to have George and Sally get together after George reforms his school habits. The two changes have no material relationship, but the timing speaks to the way that nihilism must be resolved. It's not until George realizes that nothing matters, so moments and people and his mother matter, that he's able to take control of his destiny and eventually show Sally how he feels. Sally makes an independent decision to return in the final moments of the film. Nihilism and imagined order come together for George. He's able to complete his coursework, but he isn't fundamentally changed as a person. The Art of Getting By is a refreshingly soft shift in the romance genre, and something that I would love to see more of. By examining how tropes and themes have been expressed, we can start to learn where we should go next, and which areas of our storytelling require deeper interrogation. If there's any lesson to take away from George, it's that good art can change a person. The Antagonist is me, David McNeil. The first track was a remix of Outset, and the second track was by the incredibly talented Daniel Larson. We are produced by Digital and Creative Media Works. Head to patreon.com/DCMworks to support us.